The origins of contemporary anti-immigration legislation can be traced back to the 1990s during the Clinton administration, and these laws have significantly evolved to the present day, influenced by shifting political climates and increasing polarization. In 1994, California's Proposition 187, known as the Save Our State Initiative, cast unauthorized immigrants as scapegoats for economic challenges, crime, and the burdens on public services, framing immigration as a threat to both state and federal stability. While California has since transformed into a sanctuary state, the anti-immigrant sentiment that underpinned Proposition 187 continues to shape immigration policies across the country. Over the decades, these policies, particularly at the state level, have reflected changing political priorities and deepened ideological divisions. Despite immigration being a federal issue, state laws and local enforcement agencies have played a pivotal role in shaping and executing immigration enforcement. The introduction of programs like Secure Communities has cemented the power of local law enforcement in driving mass detention and deportation. Through this system, U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, ICE, is notified of every individual taken into custody nationwide, regardless of the reason for their arrest. Consequently, state and local law enforcement have become the backbone of the immigration enforcement system, with 70 to 75% of ICE arrests in recent years originating as handoffs from these agencies. This dynamic has turned state-level criminal legal systems into critical engines of the federal deportation machine. In 2010, Arizona's SB 1070 granted local law enforcement unprecedented authority to enforce immigration laws, setting a precedent for other states. The U.S. Supreme Court struck down SB 1070 for being unconstitutional in the 2012 Arizona versus United States case. However, on November 5, 2024, this election season, the old Arizona bill was revived as Bill 314. This ballot makes crossing the U.S.-Mexico border without authorization a state crime. It empowers local officials to arrest and deport border crossers and enhances criminal penalties for unauthorized immigrants who apply for public benefits. The initiative is modeled after a Texas law currently being challenged in court. Some of its key provisions will be blocked until that Texas law or a similar law is allowed to take effect. The enacted Senate Bill 4 in Texas is almost identical to Arizona's bill. In November 2024, Governor Abbott will require hospitals to verify patients' citizenship, a move reminiscent of the enforcement tactics seen with California's Proposition 187. Florida's SB 1718, signed into law in 2023, went even further by criminalizing the transport of undocumented individuals, restricting access to public services, and requiring the use of E-Verify for employment. These state-level actions have repeatedly pushed the boundaries of federal authority over immigration, using local laws to target immigrant communities. As Donald Trump prepares for a potential return to the presidency, his administration has made bold promises to ramp up immigration enforcement measures nationwide. This includes plans for widespread mass deportations and forceful raids targeting immigrant-heavy communities, with a particular focus on sanctuary cities that provide refuge for undocumented individuals. While the federal government will undoubtedly take center stage in these intensified efforts, it is essential to note that the foundation of Trump's immigration strategy heavily relies on state and local systems that have been cultivating ICE's enforcement capabilities for decades. States like Texas have already substantially altered their criminal legal frameworks, shifting their focus to prioritize immigration enforcement. This strategic pivot has resulted in the establishment of a robust infrastructure that facilitates the mass detention and deportation of immigrants. The influx of migrants has hurt some of President Biden's initiatives. On November 7th, U.S. District Judge J. Campbell Barker, appointed by Donald Trump during his first presidential term, ruled against the Biden administration's Keeping Families Together program. This program aimed to allow over 500,000 family members of U.S. citizens to remain in the U.S. legally and access green cards for which they were already eligible. States that lean blue and are typically seen as supportive of immigrants often lack strong protections against enforcement mechanisms. While Oregon and Illinois have implemented comprehensive laws limiting transfers to ICE, most other pro-immigrant states still allow the detention and deportation of immigrants within their legal frameworks. Sadly, since the 1990s, immigration policy has shifted from a potential area for bipartisan cooperation to a profoundly divisive battleground for ideological conflicts,